everyone, Cathy Zielske here. Welcome back to the craft/dining room. Today's card project features a really fun stenciled background and a die cut. Any pattern stencil will do for this. Just grab some inks that work together, layer them, stencil them, slap a die cut on. You have the makings for a fantastic, clean and simple card. Plus, I love the greeting sentiment, so when I have hair in my face, oh my gosh, was the hair in my face the whole time? I'm trying, Ringo. My fun little card project, that is pretty cute, is coming up next. I match, look at that. So here's a look at the card project I'll be creating today. A really fun stenciled background combined with a simple die cut. This is so easy to do, so let's jump right in and take a look at the products I'll be using today. I'm using the Love Your Guts die. This is new from Simon Says Stamp. This is part of my word and shadow die collection that all feature that wonderful slab serif typeface and shadow background. Break them apart, trim off those pokies, and you're good to go. I'm also going to use this stencil from Gina K Designs called Fizzy, but any stencil with a repeating pattern can work for this technique. Time to stencil. I've trimmed a piece of Neenah Solar White Classic Crest in the 110 pound to 4 1/4 wide by 5.5 inches tall. And I'm just going to tape my stencil into place to cover the panel. It doesn't have to be perfectly taped down into place because I am going to trim this panel down. I've grabbed one of my blender brushes and 4 inks from Gina K Designs, and all of these will work together. So this is kind of like a simple combo, kind of in rainbow order, except for that lavender, which really isn't, doesn't really follow suit in the rainbow, but I knew they would work together. And all I'm going to do is start blending on some of this color through the stencil. So I've got the Innocent Pink first, Dusty Rose, Lovely Lavender. Had to change brushes there because I have a brush set aside for each basic color group for my dye inks. And then I have these little brush buddy clips on the handles that help me remember, oh yeah, this one goes with this color. Now I'll just reposition the stencil so that it's offset from the original pattern that I laid down and add more color. This time I'm going to grab the Sweet Mango and just put that in a few random places with the brush. Again, there's no real science to this other than I know that pinks and oranges go together nicely because they're relatively close to one another in the rainbow. The lavender was really the outlier, but the whole thing is going to come together beautifully. And I'll just keep adding ink in various places so that this stencil gets a nice offset pattern below. Isn't that cool? I love the look. Now I'll just fill in a few areas with a little more color. And this is where you can just have fun. You just do it until it looks good to your eye. And so that's what I did. I thought it looked really good. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to trim this down. I'll grab one of my favorite layer dies. This is from Waffle Flower Crafts, the A2 layers. Run that through my Gemini Junior and get a lovely cut panel. Now for choosing cardstock. I grabbed one of my cardstock rings, the little swatch rings, and I'll actually pop up a little card in the upper right if you want to see a video that I recently shared about creating your own cardstock swatch ring. But I thought Dusty Rose would be nice, so I grabbed a piece of Dusty Rose cardstock and cut out 3 of these off camera. Again, just running those through my Gemini Junior to get 3 Love Your Guts to stack together. I'm going to glue them together with my spray adhesive. I keep a little box off camera, so I'll spray some on the back of one, bring it back in, and layer it on top of the first one. I sometimes like to show this in real time because it takes me a while, right? I have to get the first letter down, and then I gently wiggle and move. The spray adhesive adheres really quickly, so I've messed this up so many times, not this particular one, but the process of gluing things together where I think they're lined up and they're not. But this one, my friends, yeah, I kind of nailed it. All right, got a brick on that just while I waited for it to perfectly adhere, and now it's time to decide, do I want to do a vellum shadow layer? I always try to do vellum. I love seeing people use vellum, but when I popped that down, I just thought, well, that doesn't really do anything. The die itself would have looked great just alone, but then I cut out a white shadow layer, and as soon as I did that, I knew that's what I want to do. I want some contrast on this panel, right? I don't want the Love Your Guts to blend, so added my spray adhesive to the back of the stacked and glued Love Your Guts, and then position that down on the white shadow layer. It's just crisp, and again, gives a nice contrast. Next, I'll score my card base. This is going to be a US A2, which is going to be 5.5 wide by 4.25 tall. Now this time I thought I would take the advice of many smart YouTube commenters and just keep my card panel flat, because I usually fold them down and then tape them closed, right? And someone had told me recently, Cathy, you don't need to, just keep it flat. Like, don't waste the tape. So I popped up the panel and I thought, yeah, that looks great. But then I went ahead and folded it because I forgot to, proceed. And the reality is, when I finish a card and take a picture of it, I have to tape them flat anyway. So maybe that's just a step that I do that nobody else needs to do. But again, it does help me to fully envision the finished card. So popping up Love Your Guts right in the center there with some foam tape, and going to press that down. Oh, it's so cute. I love the wide margin of framing, white space, and to finish this off, I thought it would be nice just to have 3 sets of 2 sequins placed around the die cut. I'll also pop up a card for my sequin video because I have some strong opinions about sequin placement and embellishment placement. Well, strong is, it's just what I usually do. I like my sequins to have a direct relationship to whatever's going on in the center of the card. So these really do sort of emanate from the die cut. And that's it. The sequins add a little shine. That background is so fun, right? It's going to look different every time you do it. The dimension of the die cut, and that is the finished card project. So I hope this inspires you to grab a stencil, pick a few colors, right? Limit yourself, and have some fun creating some backgrounds that you top with your favorite die cuts. All supplies are linked below. Thanks so much for watching.